of the Distinguished Lecture Series. Coming to Leonard right now to do introduction of our guest speaker is none other than Assistant Engineer Raquel Green.
Thank you.
Phones on vibrate, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome. Our speaker this afternoon was born and raised in the Bahamas, where she has received all of her early education at Xavier St. Augustine's High School. She then obtained a bachelor's degree in biology from Macalester College in Minnesota. She's received her medical doctorate degree at Wake Forest University School of Medicine in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. She did specialty training in pediatrics at Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami, Florida, and received her board certification with the American Board of Pediatrics in 2007. She is a consultant pediatrician at the Princess Margaret Hospital and an associate lecturer at the University of West Indies Medical School campus. She has been practicing pediatrics in the Bahamas since 2007 and has extensive experience in both inpatient and outpatient pediatrics. Her current private practice is at the Pediatric Suite at the Walk-In Clinic, Collins Avenue. Please, let's put our hands together and welcome Dr. Terlika Chisolm Smith, the proud mother of 2 children and the wife of our own engineer, Ira Smith. And she will be discussing the topic, CPR and beyond, tips you can't live without. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Okay, like it says, our topic today is CPR and beyond. And we're going to be discussing 2 very important topics, life-saving topics. It's not going to be a lot of detailed information, but it's going to be more practical information that can save you or somebody else's life. So the 2 areas we're going to touch on are choking and CPR. Okay, what to do when somebody's choking, what to do when somebody collapses, they may be in cardiac arrest. What can you as a lay person, a bystander, do to save their life or even your own life? Okay, so there is actually a universal sign for choking. So if anything ever went down your windpipe, say a chicken bone or a small object that you may have had in your mouth for whatever reason, there is a universal sign to let everybody around you know that you are choking. And this sign is pretty much just clasping your hands around your neck. If you ever go to a restaurant or out in a public space and you see somebody doing that, they are letting you know, hey, I am choking, I cannot breathe, I need some help. So they always say that prevention is better than cure. So there are certain things you can do to prevent a choking episode. When you're looking at children, if you have small children in your home or you have grandchildren, nieces and nephews, particularly toddlers are at the highest risk of choking because they put everything in their mouth. And the things that they put in their mouth are often just about the same size as their windpipe. So if they get it in the airway or the windpipe, it completely blocks it off and then they cannot breathe. So things you can do is to childproof the home or the play area. So things like points, earrings, nails, screws, everyday things that you may have around the household can actually be detrimental to a young child. Okay, I've actually had a patient that came in not breathing into the clinic. The child actually died, and when they did the autopsy, they found a screw in the airway. Okay, so it can happen very quickly, and it can happen to anyone. So you want to make sure that those areas where the kids are, you always check those areas, the little Lego toys, all those little things you don't want your small toddlers playing with. Also, you have to be careful about the type of food that you're going to give to toddlers. You don't want to give them anything hard or anything that's round. Things like grapes, for small children, it's not good to give them whole. You should cut them up in 4 and let them eat it in small pieces. Things are our local fruits like juju and ganap and things like that have those big seeds should not be given to small children. We've had incidences in the Princess Margaret Hospital where kids have come with ganap seed in the airway. Okay? So you have to be very, very careful with these types of things. Even hot dogs is a big one. Kids love to eat hot dogs, go to parties, and they're laughing and talking and eating a hot dog. Again, the hot dog is just about the same size as the airway. So if they bite that chunk and it goes down, don't block it. So for small children, you actually should cut the hot dog down the middle in half rather than give them the whole long hot dog, okay? Now with adults tend to have choking episodes when they are laughing and eating at the same time. Again, can happen very quickly. We do it all the time. You sit down with family, you're joking and you're laughing and you're eating the chicken, and next thing you know, you're choking on something. So once you have something in your mouth, you want to avoid any talking and laughing at that time. Okay? So just some pointers to avoid any choking episodes. Now, how do you tell if someone is really choking? And by choking, I mean when the airway is completely cut off. Sometimes you may have something that kind of slips in the airway and it comes right back out and you cough, 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 and you're okay. But choking is when you really cannot breathe and something is actually in the windpipe. So if that person cannot talk, so they're trying to talk and you see them attempting to talk but you don't hear any sound coming out, that's because the airway is blocked, okay? If they have difficulty breathing or noisy breathing, so you hear some sound but it sounds like that type of sound, something is in the airway. Or if there's a squeaky sound when they are trying to talk. You look at their face, if they're turning blue in the lips or the hands, then they are choking, the airway is cut off, okay? And of course, if they lose consciousness, then that's a sign of choking as well if you had witnessed that. Okay? So we're gonna talk about what can you do when you or somebody else is choking. And remember, choking is when the airway is cut off. If the person is actually coughing, you can hear a nice strong cough, they're good. That means the airway is clear and the cough itself is going to remove what's in the airway. So if they are coughing, you don't have to do any type of intervention. Sometimes our natural response is someone's eating or drinking, they start coughing, you start patting them on the back. That actually can be worse because you can actually knock the thing into the airway. So if someone actually starts coughing when they're eating or drinking, allow them to cough because that force is going to bring everything out. Okay? And if they're able to talk and say, I'm choking, they're not truly choking because the airway is free and it's allowing air for them to talk. So they are actually good at that time. Alright, so say you were choking now and nobody is around. What do you do? Okay, there's no one there to do the Heimlich maneuver or pat you in the back or anything. What do you do? So you actually, there's a maneuver where you can do the Heimlich maneuver on yourself. Okay? So what you are going to do, as you see in the right side of the picture, so it shows you how to position your hand. Okay, so basically you're making a fist. You can put your thumb in here or put it out here like that. To know that you have the right location, you put this pinky over your belly button and roll it up this way. So your fist is actually going to be halfway in between where your breastbone ends and where your belly button is. Okay? And then you want to lean against a firm surface like a table or a chair, and you're going to push forcefully against that table or chair. Okay? And the motion is your fist is going up and in. Okay? Everybody want to try that? up and in. So you're kind of doing almost like a slant up and in, okay? Against the table, okay? And that force, it can actually dislodge the object, okay? And you just keep on doing it until the object is dislodged. And of course, if, sorry? What did you say? You all right? Okay, and of course, if somebody's around, you want to get help. But if no one's around, you can't call anybody because you can't talk, make sure you know that maneuver, and that can actually save your life, right? Okay, so I saw a lot of you doing, let's see, young man here from Arkansas. Okay, let's see, can you demonstrate what we just said?
Okay, so you make a fist, right, and then with your pinky where your belly button is, and you roll up,
Right,
and then you
put your hand over, right?
I don't put the table, but
Right.
like that. So it's like on the side of it.
Right, exactly. Very good, very good. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to talk about what to do when a child or infant is choking, all right? So with an infant, you're really not going to do the Heimlich maneuver, but we're going to talk about. You're not going to do the arms around type thing. So for an infant under the age of 1, and I have a short video, you're actually going to put the child on their face down with your hands cusped around their neck, and then their body, this is the infant now, is going to be supported on your arm. Okay, so the infant's head is down, and you're holding in like around the neck here, and their body's being supported on your arm. Okay? Then you're going to take the ball of your hand with your fingers pointing up because you don't want to hit them on the head. In between the shoulder blades, you're going to give 5 back blows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Firm. Okay? So this is a young baby. They put a Lego or whatever, or screw or whatever in their mouth. They're turning blue. They can't breathe. They can't cry. Okay? So you're going to hold that baby with the head down, 5 back blows, okay? And if they don't become responsive and start crying, you actually have to turn them over and start chest compressions. And the short video is going to show you what to do with that, okay? Now for bigger children, but not adult size, there are 2 ways you can do. You can do the abdominal thrust, or you can do the Heimlich maneuver, but you're going to have to come down to their level. Abdominal thrust is the second picture, where you have them laying on their back on the floor, and you're going to use the ball of your hand in that same position to push up and out, okay? And then the video is going to show you how to do the Heimlich maneuver, okay? So let's go to the next slide.
The steps of performing the Heimlich maneuver on an infant. The infant must be placed on your forearm, supporting the head with your hand. Find a place where you can sit with the infant, placing them head down, and where you're able to support their weight securely. You will then deliver a series of 5 back blows, using the heel of your hand to the center of the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After this, you will then roll the child over, supporting the head, to deliver a series of 5 chest thrusts, using 2 fingers to the center of the chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You will continue alternating between 5 back blows and 5 chest thrusts until the object becomes dislodged. Make sure to call 911 to render emergency services for your child. Now we will learn how to perform the Heimlich maneuver on a child. First, we will need to determine how we know if the child is choking. You will see the child put their hands up to their throat, like this, showing that they are choking. This is the international sign for choking. If the child is sitting, have them stand up and explain to them that you are going to perform the Heimlich maneuver. You will now get a walkthrough on how to perform the Heimlich maneuver on a child. The Heimlich maneuver begins by wrapping your arms around the child. Then make a fist. Put the knuckle of your pinky finger into the victim's belly button. Then roll the fist upward until the knuckle of your thumb is touching the belly. Grabbing your fist with your opposite hand, thrust in and up. You will repeat this in and up, in and up, in and up, until they dislodge whatever is causing the choking and they can breathe again. It is important to remember to call 911 to render emergency services for your child. Thank you for watching this video. Here at Chalk Children's Emergency Department, we recommend that all parents take a child life safety course in basic life support and CPR.
Any questions on that? Okay. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the adult Heimlich maneuver. The adult Heimlich maneuver is very similar to the child's Heimlich maneuver, except with the adult you're going to be almost the same size of the child and you will actually be standing. The difference is you need to support yourself because you have different size adults, right? So if the adult is very large, you're going to have to be able to support yourself. So you put your 1 foot back and 1 foot forward, and you're going to be able to. You have to be able to support the force on your legs. Okay. So like I said before, you're going to put your arms around the person that's choking. First of all, before you start anything, you need to tell them what you're about to do. Because remember, the person is going to be in a very anxious situation. That object is in their airway. They're trying to get it out. They feel like they're going to die. And they just feel someone coming around them and they don't know what's going on. That's going to make them even more anxious. So you actually let them know, I'm about to help you. You find out if they can talk. If they can't talk, they're still choking, you let them know, I'm going to put my arms around you and I'm going to help you try to get it out. Okay? This may be any type of situation in a restaurant, maybe a stranger you don't know. So you're going to need to explain what you're going to do. Okay? And then once you put your arms around the person, again, that the spot is halfway between the end of their chest bone, between and their belly button. Or you can do the landmark where you put your pinky and roll it. Okay? So again, you once you have your fist there, you put your hands over the fist, and it's the up and back movement. Okay? And you keep doing it until the object dislodges. If the person becomes unconscious, you then start chest compressions, and the next part we'll talk about chest compressions. Okay? So let's see this.
From severe airway obstruction. If the choking person can't reply or nods yes, do a Heimlich maneuver. Stand directly behind the choking person and encircle their midsection with your arms. Clench one fist and place it midway between the umbilicus and xiphoid. Grab the fist with your other hand and pull sharply backward and upward with both arms. Repeat as needed up to 6 or 10 times. Apply significant force. Use more than a firm hug, but not your maximum strength, to avoid injuring the ribs or internal organ. Given the rapidly fatal nature of the situation, use your best judgment as to the appropriate force. If the choking person is obese or in late pregnancy, use chest thrusts instead of abdominal thrusts. In children less than 20 kilograms, typically less than 5 years, apply only very moderate pressure. Kneel at the child's feet rather than over their torso or standing. In infants under 1 year, don't do the Heimlich maneuver. Continue efforts without interruption until the airway obstruction is removed or advanced airway intervention is available. After successful removal, have the person brought to an emergency department if they have residual symptoms.
All right, any questions about that? Okay. Let's do it. Do you have any volunteers? And we need to pick somebody. Maybe two volunteers.
Two gentlemen from Arkansas.
Y'all look lucky, so y'all gotta be the volunteers.
I know that's what you want to do.
Okay.
A female.
Okay. Always gonna pick 2 people. You know your style.
You should know what to do.
Okay, so Eloise, you're choking. What are you going to do? Okay. And Ira,
Can you breathe? Can you, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you. Let's see. Wait, no, it's like this and then.
right, you start at the belly button and then roll up. Right.
2, 3.
She can choke like that.
Okay, so remember up and back, okay? Right. Okay, very good. Thank you, volunteers. Okay. Okay, so now also we've learned about choking. We've learned about how to prevent choking, how to let somebody know that you're choking, how to figure out if somebody else is choking, and the initial intervention that they need. Okay? So a very important life-saving technique that you need to know. Hopefully you'll never need to use it, but if you're ever in the situation, I hope you remember what to do. Okay? Alright, so the next thing we're going to talk about is CPR. So CPR stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation, right? So cardio is heart, pulmonary is lung, and resuscitation pretty much is getting the life back. Okay? So persons can go into cardiac arrest for many reasons. It can be from drowning, it can be from a heart attack. So different reasons persons can just fall out and their heart pretty much stops working. So remember, the main job of the heart is to get blood around the body and take oxygen to the important parts of your body. When the heart stops, you stop getting blood and oxygen to the important parts of your body, and those parts of your body die very quickly without oxygen. So what chest compressions or CPR does is it kind of acts as the heart while the person's heart has stopped. So you are actually pressing on their heart to get blood distributed to the rest of the body until help can come. Any lay person can learn to do CPR. Even small children can learn to do CPR. There have been incidences where small children have saved the lives of their siblings, their grandparents, and whatnot because they learned how to do CPR. What I'm going to teach you today is not full CPR, but basic CPR, what they call hands-only CPR. So with full CPR, you learn how to do chest compressions and to give rescue breaths, okay? What it's been found is that because learning to do full CPR takes about at least half a day to a day, full course. So what the American Heart Association has done is promote hands-only CPR, which you can learn in just a few minutes, and it's actually been shown to improve survival of persons who collapsed or drowned and whatnot. Okay? So even though hands-only CPR is not as effective as hands and rescue breaths, it is effective, more effective than doing nothing. Okay? So someone passes out and you're there screaming, you can't do anything, the person's probably gonna die. But if you could at least keep that heart going until the emergency people arrive, that could save the person's life. Okay? So who needs CPR? If the person is unconscious and unresponsive, you start CPR. Before, in the older days, when you did CPR courses, you would, who's done any CPR course, training course, okay? So if you did CPR course probably prior to about 7 years ago, they taught you about look, listen, feel. Look to see if they're breathing, feel to see if you feel any breaths, feel the pulses, and then start CPR. All of that is out of the window now. What they say now is if the person's unconscious, they're not responding, start CPR. Because for most laypersons, they can't feel the pulse, they don't remember those long instructions they did in their CPR course way back when. just start the CPR and you get better results, a higher chance of survival, okay? So if you come in, you see a co-worker collapse on the floor, you try to stimulate them, you shake their shoulder, you rub their chest, they're not responding, you go ahead and you begin CPR. Call for help, begin CPR, okay? Very, very simple. So, with hands-only CPR, what you're going to do is actually find the middle part of the chest, so their chest bone. So if they're collapsed on the floor, they need to be in a hard surface. So if you're home and they're on the bed, remove them and try to put them on the floor where it's a hard surface. Because if you're pressing and the bed is going down with you, it's not going to be effective. So it needs a hard surface, so when you press, it kind of presses back against you, okay? So you take your non-dominant hand, which would be your left hand for most persons, outstretched, right? And then you put your right hand and put your fingers in between your hand like that. Does everybody do it? Y'all gotta do it because hopefully, like I said, hopefully you never need it, but once you good to have, okay? And you want to lock your elbows. So your elbow shouldn't be like this. You want to be straight and locked. And then you're going to use your body strength, your upper body strength, to press in the middle of the chest, okay? This is a very tiresome, especially if you're doing it on a large person. So if there's more than one person there, you should switch out every 1 to 2 minutes. The ambulance may take 20-30 minutes to come. You cannot do chest compressions for 20 to 30 minutes. It's exhausting because you're doing it at a rate of 100. Okay? So it looks, when you count, think about counting 100 times in 1 minute. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for
that's a lot.
however long. Okay? So if there's more than one person, you try not, when you switch out, try not to let there be any breaks in the time. So you say, okay, we're getting ready to switch, that person comes, and as you move, they come right back in. Okay? Because anytime that you pause, that's no blood going to your brain and the rest of your body. So you don't want to be any pauses in between your chest compressions. Okay? So let's watch this video.
If you see a teen or adult suddenly collapse, it's important to act fast. Helping to save a life is easier than you might think. Just start hands-only CPR. The first step is to send someone to call 911 or call 911 yourself. Then get directly over the victim. Put the heel of one hand in the center of the chest, then put your other hand on top of the first. Then push hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives. It's important to push, giving 100 to 120 compressions per minute, which is about the same tempo as the song Staying Alive. Let's hope you never have to use hands-only CPR. But if you see a teen or adult suddenly collapse, don't be afraid to try it. Remember, call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives. Your actions can help save a life.
I don't know if I'm really thinking about that song like that. That helps you out.
Or visit heart.org/hands-only-CPR.
But the key thing is remember hard and fast. Because remember what you're trying to do. You're trying to push that blood out of the heart. Their heart is stopped. So you acting as their heart muscle when you're pressing. So you press hard, so their chest should be going in at least about 1/3 of the depth. Okay, you don't want to just be little simple things. You're trying to save this person's life. Okay, and remember to use your chest bone. Don't go in the belly, and then you're rupturing the spleen and the liver, all that stuff. Make sure you're on the chest, in the middle of the chest bone. Okay, hard and fast. For infants, you're not going to do that full pressure. For young infants, it's actually just 2 fingers. Okay, 2 fingers in the middle of the chest bone at that same rate, 100 to 120. Okay, and then for a larger child, you're going to use 1 hand rather than your whole 2 hands and all the body force. So for say a small child older than 1 up to almost adult size,